First contact, and she's pissed. The stars outside Eli's ship looked like fireflies frozen in time. His ship, the Wandering Wasp, shook hard as a warning light flashed red. Warning. Hyperspace jump unstable. Emergency exit in 3, 2, 1. With a loud crack, the ship dropped out of hyperspace and crashed through a purple sky, straight into the strange jungle of an unknown planet. Smoke filled the cockpit. Eli groaned as he unbuckled his seatbelt. Great, this isn't Earth. This isn't even close to Earth, he muttered. He grabbed his translator chip, a survival pack, and his trusty energy blaster, then stepped out into the humid alien jungle. The trees were tall, glowing, and humming softly. The ground was soft like jelly. Strange birds flew above, laughing like children. Eli looked around. I must have jumped into some weird spa planet. He took a few steps when a deep growl echoed behind him. He turned fast, raising his blaster. But it wasn't a monster. It was her. A tall alien woman stood under the trees. Her skin shimmered like silver metal. She wore sharp armor that glowed blue. Her eyes were like two suns, burning with anger. You pulled out? She yelled. Her voice was calm, but dangerous. Eli blinked. Sorry, what? The woman took a step forward. You activated the sync protocol. You began the bond. Then you left. That is illegal on my planet, human. Eli looked around, confused. Lady, I just crash-landed here. I didn't pull out of anything. I didn't even know this place existed until 5 minutes ago. She narrowed her eyes. Do not lie. You touched the neural beacon. You started the link. You ran away before. The connection was complete. Eli remembered something strange right before the crash. He touched a glowing relic floating in space. It was shaped like a starfish, pulsing with light. The ship's computer had called it unknown artifact. That thing? He said, that was an accident. I thought it was some kind of fancy alien decoration. She didn't smile. You don't touch a binding relic unless you intend to complete the sync. Suddenly, 3 flying drones appeared, surrounding Eli. They locked lasers on him. By Varexian law, she said. You are under arrest for violating the sacred code of connection. Eli slowly raised his hands. Listen, I don't know your laws. I didn't mean anything. I didn't even know there was a code. Intent does not matter, she said coldly. Your mind touched the beacon. That means your kind is ready. And now, you run. Before he could answer, one drone fired a net made of blue energy. It wrapped around Eli and dropped him to the ground. His blaster flew out of reach. Wait, just talk to me. He yelled. But the alien woman was already walking away. She stopped once, turned her head slightly, and said something low. If you are lying, your species is in danger. Then everything went black. Eli woke up inside a glowing energy cage. The walls were smooth and buzzing with power. He couldn't even scratch his nose without getting a shock. He could see her outside, speaking to another alien officer. He tried to stand, but the cage zapped him again. All right, he muttered. First contact with aliens and I'm already arrested. Classic human luck. The alien woman walked up to the cage. I am Commander Viria of the Varexian Guard. She said, you will explain yourself. Eli looked at her, annoyed and curious. I'm Eli Cross, human pilot. Not a sync starter, not a beacon toucher. Okay, maybe I touched it, but I didn't know what it was. You linked minds with a Varexian sacred object. Do you understand what that means? Eli shook his head. No, but I'm guessing it's worse than stepping on someone's foot. She ignored the joke. You began a mental bond. A sync. That process is sacred, powerful, and dangerous if broken. Eli frowned. So this sync is like, what? Marriage? Viria didn't answer, but her silence said enough. He let out a long sigh. Lady, I've had bad dates before, but none of them came with prison time and drone nets. She looked at him as if deciding something. You are lucky, she said. Some on my planet want to kill you. They believe your race is not ready. Eli raised an eyebrow. So, are you going to kill me? Viria leaned in close. No, not yet. Before Eli could say more, the entire prison shook. Lights flashed. A warning alarm blared in some alien language. Viria spun around. We're under attack. Get ready. Get ready, Eli shouted. I'm in a cage. She touched a panel and the cage vanished. We're escaping, she said. Together? She gave a short nod. For now. And just like that, they ran out into chaos. But one thing was clear in Eli's mind. This was going to be the weirdest first date of his life. Alien jailbreak and accidental marriage. The prison walls were on fire. Literally. Sparks flew from the control panels as strange, insect-like robots scuttled across the floor. Firing blue plasma bolts. Eli ducked behind Commander Viria, who moved like a shadow with a sword. Wait, sword? Where did that come from? She sliced through a metal drone like it was butter. Stay close, human. Or die, Eli peeked out from behind a pillar. You know, I usually prefer my dates without explosions, but sure, this works too. Viria didn't laugh. Not even a smile. This woman had the humor of a brick, but the reflexes of a Jedi on Red Bull. They dashed through the hallway, dodging falling beams and angry alien alarms. Eli shouted, Who's attacking us? I thought I was the criminal here. Viria responded without looking back. Not everyone agrees with my decision to spare you. The purists believe humans are unworthy of the sink, Eli frowned. The purists? Sounds like the type of group that hates hugs and pizza. They reached a loading dock where a small alien hoverpod sat humming. Viria jumped in and motioned. Get in, now. Eli hesitated for half a second. He glanced back at the burning building, the chaos, the robotic screams. Then he climbed. The pod shot off into the alien sky, smooth as silk and twice as fast. 20 minutes later, safe house. Hidden canyon. They landed deep inside a canyon full of glowing purple rocks. The air buzzed with energy. As they entered the safe house built into the stone itself, Eli finally got a chance to breathe. I feel like I've just been dragged into someone else's breakup, he muttered, wiping sweat off his face. Viria sat down, removing her armored gauntlets. Her silver skin shimmered in the dim light. You touched the beacon, she said again, more calm now. That makes you my bonded. Eli blinked. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Back up. Bonded? You're saying we're married now? She tilted her head. Not married. Connected. You started the process. It can only be undone if both minds reject the bond. Eli laughed nervously. Okay, then I reject it. No offense, you're cool and shiny, but I didn't sign up for mind marriage with an alien warrior. Viria stood up and walked toward him slowly. The beacon accepted your touch. That means something. And when you left, it caused a rupture. If we don't complete the bond, it will kill you, and possibly me. Eli sat down hard. This just keeps getting better. Meanwhile, back in the Capitol in a dark chamber lit only by flickering lights and creepy alien chanting, 3 hooded figures stood around a glowing orb. The sink has begun, said the tallest. The human must not survive. Another nodded. If the bond completes, he may unlock the Gate of Origins. The third spoke in a whisper. Activate the hunter. Make sure he does not reach the Temple of Minds. A fourth shadow stepped from the darkness. Its eyes glowed red. I will bring back his head, it said. Back at the safe house, that awkward bond talk. Eli sat cross-legged on a cushion. Viria handed him a small orb. What's this? He asked. Memory orb. If you're going to sink, you must understand me, my past, my pain. He raised an eyebrow. Couldn't we just go to alien couples therapy? She didn't smile. Again, he sighed and touched the orb. Suddenly, he saw images her childhood, training as a warrior, losing her brother during a failed sync with a human explorer. Pain, rage, duty. When the vision ended, Eli was shaking. I didn't know. I'm sorry, Viria nodded slowly. That's why I'm angry. Not because you broke the law, because I was afraid. It was happening again. Eli looked at her. So what do we do now? She stood. We go to the Temple of Minds. There, the bond can either be broken or completed. He hesitated. And if it completes? She looked away. Then our minds will be linked forever. You'll feel what I feel. Know what I know. Eli swallowed hard. What if I don't want that? Her voice was almost a whisper. Then you die. Suddenly, the lights in the safe house flickered. Viria stood up fast. They found us. The wall exploded inward. Dust filled the air. And from the smoke stepped a massive figure in black armor. The hunter. Eli raised his blaster. This guy doesn't look friendly. The hunter spoke in a voice like grinding metal. By order of the purists, the sync must end, and the human must bleed. Eli and Viria stand side by side. Facing the armored killer, Viria tosses him a small energy blade. You ready to fight for this bond? She asked. Eli caught the blade. I don't even know what this bond is. But yeah, let's slice. Some space drama. The hunter charged. The laws of love and lasers. The hunter moved like thunder in armor. Fast, silent, and completely terrifying. Eli gripped the energy blade Viria had thrown him. It felt awkward in his hand. He'd used a blaster, sure, but this thing? This was personal. Any tips for not dying in the next 30 seconds? He muttered. Viria stood beside him, calm and focused. Yes, don't blink. The hunter lunged. Viria met him mid-air, blades clashing with a scream of light. Sparks burst around them as Eli dove behind an alien sofa that looked like it was made from tree roots and regret. He peeked over the edge and saw the two warriors trading blows, every move too fast for the eye. The hunter swung hard, knocking Viria across the room. She hit the wall hard and slid down. Groaning, Eli stood up, heart hammering. Okay, Space Ninja. Let's see what you got. He charged the hunter like a man with more courage than skill and swung the glowing blade. The hunter caught it, with 2 fingers. Oh no. The hunter tossed him like a rag doll. Eli flew across the room and landed near Viria. Why did I even get out of bed today? He groaned. Viria coughed and pulled herself up. She looked at him, blood running down her cheek, armor cracked, but eyes burning. I have a plan. Great. Can I survive it? No, not great. Plan B. Brain fire. Viria grabbed his arm. We'll do a partial sync right now. Just for 5 seconds. Eli's eyes widened. Didn't you say that could kill me? Yes. You really gotta work on your sales pitch. She didn't wait. Her hand gripped his temple, and suddenly his brain lit up like a Christmas tree wired to a nuclear reactor. Images, emotions, pain, her pain, training, sacrifice, loneliness, duty. Then it flipped. He was feeding her his memories. Earth, music, fast food, his dog, heartbreaks, laughter, that one time he nearly died from. Trying to microwave soup with the metal lid still on. The energy around them surged. The hunter paused, sensing the power shift. When the sync stopped, both dropped to their knees, gasping. Eli blinked. Okay. That was the most terrifying brain kiss ever. But the hunter was already charging again. This time, though, Viria was ready. She grabbed Eli's hand, and together, they launched a combo attacker with speed, him with sheer instinct. The hunter couldn't keep up. Eli landed a hit, his first real one, cutting through the side of the hunter's armor. Sparks flew. The assassin roared and vanished in a burst of smoke. Gone. Eli dropped the blade. We just scared off the galaxies. Most dangerous killer. By sinking minds and nearly frying our brains. Viria smirked. Finally, you're not completely useless. In the hidden shuttle, as the two sat catching their breath, Viria opened a hidden compartment and pulled out a glowing scroll of alien light. Eli leaned in. Please tell me that's not another bonding thing. It's worse, she said. These are the original laws of the sync. The scroll floated, displaying ancient Virexian glyphs that translated midair. Should the sync complete between two species, one mind shall awaken the gate of origins, and the stars shall choose. Eli frowned. What's the gate of origins? Viria, Zafia. Face darkened. It's a myth, a weapon, a door to something. Old. The Virexian High Council fears it. They believe syncing with a human could unlock it. Eli raised an eyebrow. Wait, so they don't just hate me because I broke up with you halfway through a brain ceremony. They're afraid I might accidentally open a cosmic horror door. She nodded. Exactly. Okay, now I feel better. I thought they just didn't like my haircut. Hidden message in the sync. That night, as Eli lay in the shuttle, trying to sleep, his mind buzzed. Something was inside him now. A voice. A whisper. The gate is waking. He jolted up. Sweat poured from his forehead. He wasn't alone in his own thoughts anymore. Across the shuttle, Viria sat in meditation, but her eyes opened. You heard it too? She asked. He nodded. Yeah, either that or I've got alien schizophrenia. She stood slowly. We need to reach the Temple of Minds, fast. Right, Eli said. So just to recap, we're half married, mentally cinced, hunted by space racists, and possibly about to awaken a planet-killing weapon from an ancient prophecy. Viria looked dead serious. Double quotes, yes. And that was just Monday. Escape they climbed. Into a camouflaged flyer hidden beneath the canyon. As it powered up, Eli looked out the window. Above them, strange clouds gathered. Purple lightning danced across the sky. Is that weather normal? He asked. No, Viria replied. The gate is stirring. The sync is triggering something buried in the planet's memory. Eli buckled up and muttered, Great. Planet with PTSD. The flyer launched into the storm, heading for the Temple of Minds, but from deep beneath Virex 9's surface, something ancient opened its eyes. Asterisk, they wanted to stop the bond. They didn't know it was a key. The Council of Nine Tentacles location. Sky Tower Citadel, capital of Virex 9. The citadel was floating. Literally. A giant silver spire balancing on magnetic energy above a storm-wrapped canyon. Below it, the wind howled like a grieving god. Eli stepped out of the flyer and looked up. Okay, he said, adjusting his collar. You ever get the feeling the building is judging you? Viria stood beside him in formal armor, every plate polished to a mirror shine. This is the seat of the Nine. Prepare yourself. They do not like jokes. Eli exhaled. Great, me neither. Especially the ones that end with off with his head. As they entered, Virexian guards scanned. Then stepped aside. Even they looked nervous. Inside the Grand Hall, the Council of Nine Tentacles wasn't just a fancy title. The members were each different species from across the system: telepaths, gas-based beings, insectoid tacticians, and one ancient creature that literally sat in a tank of blue liquid with 9 glowing tentacles twitching in rhythm. That one was Etherax, the oldest and most feared. The council chamber was dim, lit by floating orbs. The floor was clear crystal, showing a dizzying view of the canyon below. Eli tried not to look down or throw up. Viria steps forward. I bring the bonded, the human who touched the beacon. Murmurs rippled through the room. A thorax. Tentacles floated upward. You dare return with him? Came the voice, telepathic, deep, and echoing through Eli's bones. He has not broken the sync, Viria said. He came willingly. He seeks truth. Eli raised his hand awkwardly. Hi, Eli Cross. Accidental chosen one, apparently. A slimy alien counselor hissed. This one is dangerous. He awakened the pathway. The gate stirs. Another added. His mind is not built for the burden. If the sync completes, he may not open the gate. He may become it. Eli leaned toward Viria. Okay, seriously, how many different ways can one guy destroy the galaxy by accident? She whispered, at least 9. Council debate. Truth or execution? The council argued. Some wanted to sever the bond permanently. Others wanted to observe. One even suggested using Eli as a weapon, a living sync bomb. Through it all, Eli stood quietly until he couldn't anymore. He stepped forward. All right, look. I didn't ask for any of this. I touched a floating light-up alien frisbee, okay? But I'm not your enemy. I'm not a weapon. And I don't want to destroy anything. The chamber fell silent. Then Ithurax spoke again. You speak with courage and ignorance. One tentacle pointed toward him. Let us see if you speak truth. Before Viria could protest, a psychic pulse blasted out from the tank. Eli dropped to his knees. Vision sequence, memory test in his mind. Eli stood in a white space filled with stars. A child version of him appeared, lost, small, crying. Then Viria appeared, kneeling beside him. This is your core, came Ithurax's voice. What lives here determines the fate of the sync. Suddenly, the child was attacked by shadow forms, representing fear, trauma, guilt. Eli watched himself fight and lose. He turned to Viria in the vision. I can't win this. She said one word, trust. He reached out to the child version of himself, held his own hand, and the shadows vanished in a burst of light. Back in the chamber, Eli collapsed. Breathing hard, Ithurax's glow dimmed slightly. He speaks. Truth, the Ancient One said. He is not pure. But he is not false. But then, sabotaged suddenly, the chamber shook violently. Alarms blared. Walls cracked. A guard burst in. The purists. They've breached the citadel. Explosions rocked the floating tower. Outside, black flyers attacked with precision. Eli grabbed Viria. Why do all our important meetings end in explosions? Viria drew her sword. Because we keep surviving them. Counselors activated shields and defenses, but one of them, Counselor Zellner, revealed himself as a traitor, blasting 3 guards and opening a portal. I warned you, he shouted. The sync will doom us all. The gate must stay sealed. Zellner aimed a cannon at Eli. But before the shot fired, Ithurax's tentacle wrapped around Zellner's arm and crushed it. The traitor screamed and vanished into the portal. Escape and revelation, the citadel was crumbling. Eli and Viria raced through falling debris, smoke, and panicked dignitaries. As they reached the flyer pad, Ithurax's voice echoed in their minds one last time. Go to the Temple of Minds. Finish what was started. If the sync completes, the stars will either crown you or burn you. They launched into the sky, Eli gripping the side handles, shaking. We've got assassins, traitors, a galaxy-level psychic door, and now a cosmic judgment test, he muttered. Viria didn't even flinch. You forgot one thing. What? She looked at him. We still don't know what the gate does, or why it was sealed. The temple awakens as they flew over the horizon. In the far distance, a massive mountain split open. From within rose a tower that hadn't been seen in 1,000 years. The Temple of Minds had awoken. Its spires hummed with sync energy. And deep beneath its base, the gate pulsed, like a heartbeat waiting to be unlocked. Asterisk. He was just trying to get home. Now the galaxy might call him king. Or kill him trying. Secrets of the sync location. Temple of Minds, Virex 9, Anne. Ancient site hidden for centuries. Temple didn't just sit on the mountain. It was the mountain. Tall black stone towers pierced the clouds. The air shimmered with raw energy. Every stone vibrated faintly, as if humming a forgotten song. Eli stepped off the flyer and immediately staggered. Okay, either this place is alive, or I'm getting altitude sickness from too much destiny. Viria stood perfectly still. Her voice was quiet. No one has walked here since the gate was sealed. I didn't believe it would ever return. Eli looked at her. Are we sure this is safe? She glanced at him. Absolutely not. Entering the temple inside, the temple was lit by psychic resonance crystals, glowing blue stones that reacted to thoughts. As Eli walked, the lights changed with his emotions. Viria watched as they pulsed from confusion to anxiety. Then, to something warmer when she stepped beside him, he noticed. Is this temple reading me? She nodded. It's reacting to your sync potential. You are the key now. Ayla sighed. I was hoping to be the key to something like a vending machine, not a reality-breaking prophecy. Hall of Memory, they entered the central chamber, a vast room, filled with hovering memory orbs, each holding pieces of history. Viria stepped forward and placed her hand on a glowing pedestal. Activate Sync Archive, she commanded. Dozens of orbs spun around them. They showed past sync attempts, some successful, most catastrophic. One showed a Virexian exploding mid-link. Another showed an entire star system collapsing in on itself. One orb showed a human pilot, like Eli, screaming as his mind was torn apart. Eli stared pale. Those were real people, Viria nodded. Syncs between species are extremely rare and dangerous. But when they work, they unlock truths no one can hold alone. Then one orb floated forward. It pulsed with Eli's own memory. He reached out, and it played. Orb Vision, the secret memory. Eli stood in his childhood home. A woman, his mother, was working on a device. A strange crystal core sat in her hands. Mom? He whispered in the vision. She looked straight at him. You're going to touch something one day, she said softly. Something that feels like it was waiting for you. How do you know? The young Eli asked. She smiled sadly. Because I touched it first, and I saw you. The memory faded. Eli stumbled back, breath stolen. My mother. She saw the beacon. Before me? Viria looked stunned. Impossible. No human ever reached it before you. Eli whispered, unless someone made sure that secret stayed buried. The Forgotten Project. Another orb floated forward. This one marked Classified Terran-Virexian Hybrid Experiment. It wasn't recorded by the Virexians, but by humans. They played the footage. A human scientist appeared on screen. Dr. Alira Cross, Eli's mother. She spoke directly to the camera. We discovered the relic during a deep space anomaly search. The Virexians never knew. The sync energy reacted to me. But I was too old, too damaged by Earth's gravity and radiation. So we passed it down. If my son touches the beacon, he may succeed where we failed. Eli staggered. She knew. She planned this. My whole life was part of some long bet with the universe. Viria's voice was barely above a whisper. Your sync was never random. You were bred for it. Emotional fallout. Eli walked away, eyes hollow. I thought I was just a lucky idiot who bumped into an alien sacred disco ball, he said. But I was a pawn. Born to play a part I didn't choose. Viria followed. You're not a pawn. You're the variable no one expected. That's why they fear you. He turned on her. Then why didn't you tell me all this? You knew more than you let on. She looked down. Because I was afraid that the sync would change me, that I'd lose who I was. Eli laughed bitterly. Too late. We're already changing. For a long moment, they stood in silence, two people bonded by fate and broken. Truths. Then a distant pulse shook the temple. The gate of origins begins to open at the far end of the temple. A giant stone door began to split open. Symbols glowed down its center. A low, deep hum filled the air like the sound of the universe inhaling. Eli clutched his head. It's calling to me. Varia held his arm. No, we are calling it. The sync is nearing completion. It will either merge us completely or destroy everything in a 50 light-year radius. Eli wiped sweat from his forehead. Cool, no pressure. Final decision. To sink or not to sink? A floating platform emerged from the ground clearly. The sink chamber. To enter it meant going through with the bond. Fully. No turning back. I don't even know who I'll be after this. Eli said. You'll still be you, Varia replied. But more. He looked at her, eyes filled with fear, fire, and something dangerously close to trust. What if it breaks us? She stepped forward, placing her forehead gently against his. Then we break together. Unseen danger as Eli and Varia prepared to step onto the platform, the camera pulls back. Way back, through space. ... until it reaches a cloaked ship orbiting the planet. Inside, a figure watches a glowing screen. They've reached the chamber, the voice says. Another replies, cold and certain. Then we move to phase Omega. If the bond completes, we release the null wave. The camera zooms in on the stasis pod nearby. Inside floats something monstrous. Not quite alien. Not quite human. But unmistakably sensed. One bond will save them. One secret will destroy them. The final pull location. Sync platform. Core of the Temple of Minds. Eli and Varia stood on a levitating disc above a pit of swirling stardust. The platform hovered over a glowing energy vortex, the heart of the sync, as ancient Varexian texts called it. A disembodied voice whispered across the chamber. To bond is to become. To become is to risk. To risk is to awaken. Eli took one shaky step forward. I feel like I'm about to jump off a cliff, blindfolded, while holding a bomb. Varia, calm but clearly affected, responded, You are. Except the bomb is your brain. And the cliff is time itself. Eli turned to her. If I die, and you survive, tell my dog I was brave. She smiled, actually smiled. You don't have a dog. I could have had one, he said. We'll never know now. They stood at the center. Hands touched. And the sync began. Merge. A column of light burst upward from the pit, surrounding them in a cyclone of memory, pain, and power. Every neuron, every cell, every secret they had ever buried. Surface. Eli saw Varia as a child, holding her brother's body after a failed sync, her training, her scars, her fear of failing her people, her hope that Eli was different. Varia saw Eli crying as a boy when his mother disappeared, his self-doubt masked with sarcasm and jokes, his hidden courage, the part of him that chose to stay, despite every reason to run. Their emotions collided like galaxies in fusion. He whispered, You're not what I expected. She whispered, Neither are you. Then their minds locked, and the universe blinked. The gate of origins opens outside the temple. The mountain trembled. The ancient Gata structure, older than Varexian memory, rose from beneath the surface. It wasn't a door. It was a construct, a living star engine, shaped like a spinning ring of crystalline bone, pulsing with time. Energy. It responded to the completed sync by activating. The stars above bent inward. The air shimmered. Gravity twitched, like it was having second thoughts. Meanwhile, in orbit on a cloaked purist warship, alarms blared. They've completed the sync, the captain growled. Another officer, pale and sweating, nodded. Initiate null wave protocol? The captain slammed her fist. Now, before they open the gate. In the back of the ship, a stasis pod hissed open, revealing a creature. Sensed, mutated, and deadly. Project, null wave, a weapon designed from failed sync attempts. It opened its glowing eyes and screamed. Attack on the temple. From orbit, a beam of null energy struck the mountain. Not fire, not plasma. Something worse. Void. Where it hit, Reality stopped working, matter froze, colors reversed. Time stuttered. Eli and Viria screamed in unison as the sync connection was attacked psychically. Their minds were being pulled apart mid-link. We're not done, Eli roared, holding her hand tighter, but Viria was fading. I can't hold it. Suddenly, she collapsed, convulsing as the null-wave entity appeared inside the chamber, teleporting via the sync link itself. The creature was hideous, twisted, part Virexian, part human, part something else. Its voice was broken glass and grief. They lied to me, now you pay. Final battle begins. Eli didn't hesitate. No blaster. No clever jokes. Just rage. He grabbed Viria's blade and lunged. The creature responded with a scream of force energy, knocking him back, but Eli stood. I didn't ask for this, but I earned it. As they fought, flashes of thought surged around them, remnants of failed syncs, echoes of ancient warriors, shadows of what the gate had done before. Eli was struck down, gasping, but Viria rose behind him, eyes glowing white. The sync hadn't failed. It had evolved. Together, their minds fused again, stronger, purer. They stood as one. The creature charged. So did they. With a roar of combined willpower, they drove Viria's blade through its core. The creature spasmed, then smiled. Now, the gate will choose. And it died. The gate decides. The sync platform lifted again. The gate of origins hovered before them, glowing, spinning. Aware. It scanned them, not with light, but with truth. A voice filled the temple. Not male, not female, not anything Eli had ever heard. Bond accepted, origin alignment complete. Do you wish to open the gate? Viria turned to him. This is it. Once opened, there's no going back. Eli took her hand. I'm done running. Let's open the damn door. They said one word together. Yes. Final moments. The gate exploded, not in fire, but in knowledge. Visions poured out, thousands of civilizations. Forgotten histories. Technologies that bent time. Secrets about life, death, and what lies between. And in the center, a new path forward, for humans. For Virexians, for everyone. Their sync wasn't a weapon. It was a bridge. A beginning. A new dawn back on the surface. The temple was quiet. The storm had cleared. Viria and Eli stood on the mountain edge, hand in hand. She looked at him. We changed everything. He looked out at the stars. Yeah, and I still haven't gotten paid. She laughed. A real laugh. Behind them, the gate pulsed open, waiting, but not threatening. Welcoming. The bond was never the end. It was the beginning of the next war. You pulled through. Location. Orbiting the planet Virex9 time. 3 days after the gate was opened, the planet looked different now. It shimmered with a faint aurora, like a living thing had exhaled after millennia underwater. Above it floated the Accord, a massive neutral flagship sent by both Earth and Virexian factions. It was not a ship of war. It was a courtroom, a peace table, or a trap. Inside its core chamber sat the galaxy's most dangerous new couple. The Tribunal Lili sat beside Viria in a chamber filled with high-ranking humans, Virexian elders, and delegates from 6 other interstellar species. Cameras hovered. Eyeballs watched from orbit. Across from them sat Commander Threx, leader of the Purists, his left arm replaced by a twitching cybernetic tentacle. We warned you, he growled. We warned that the sync would bring chaos. Eli leaned back in his chair. You're welcome, by the way. A human admiral banged her fist. You accessed ancient tech we didn't even know existed, without approval, without protocol. Viria spoke calmly. Had we waited for your permission, the gate would still be sleeping, and so would your ignorance. Murmurs. Tension. A judge figure, a multi-eyed gas being named Lock 7 spoke. The gate has not attacked. It waits, but what do you intend? To do with it? The offer. Eli stood up. All eyes on him. We don't use the gate. That's not what it's for. He pointed at the camera drones. We've been fighting each other for so long. We forgot to ask the big questions. Who built the sync system? Why are our minds meant to connect like this? He looked at Viria. Our bond didn't just give us power. It gave us understanding. Not just between species, but between pain, between truth, between how we love and how we lose. He turned to the council. So here's what we propose. The Sync Accord. A council of all bonded pairs across the galaxy. Volunteers. Linked by truth. Not fear. Gasps, shouts. Fear and hope in equal measure. LOQ7's eyes swirled in thought. The gate? Eli smiled. It'll show us who we really are. If we're ready. Twist. Assassination attempt, just as the room buzzed with debate. Something clicked beneath the floor. Varia's eyes snapped wide. Down. She leapt across Eli as a spike of energy fired from the floor. A stealth plasma round meant for his heart. Guards swarmed. A disguised delegate, a minor ambassador, morphed into a void spawn hybrid, the last remnant of the Nullwave project. He screeched. The sync is a lie. The gate is a trick. It only opens when death is near. Eli grabbed a dropped weapon. So did Viria. Together, they moved as one. No words. No planning. Just pure, bonded motion. The creature was down in seconds. The room went silent again. Eli dusted off his jacket. See? Told you I pull through. Aftermath. Council decision that night. The decision came. The accord was approved barely. The gate was to be watched, not worshipped. Studied. Guarded. And the first official sync pair to lead the interspecies alliance? You already know. On the edge of the gate location. Temple of Minds, now a diplomatic site. Eli stood where it all began. Looking out at the Gate of Origins. It floated calmly now. Glowing like a sleeping sun. Viria joined him, armor gone. Wearing a long dark cloak embroidered with the symbols of both her people and Earth. He looked at her. You think we did the right thing? She smirked. You didn't die, so yes. He stepped forward. I still don't understand everything the gate showed me. It wasn't meant to be understood, she said, only trusted. He nodded slowly, then pulled something from his pocket, a silver ring, simple, human made. She blinked. Is this? Don't worry, Eli said with a crooked grin. This one's not a neural binding link. Just metal, sentimental, old school. Viria took it. Slipped it on. Primitive, she muttered. Charming, he corrected. She paused. You sure you want to commit? Eli smirked. I already did. The moment I touched that damn beacon. They stood there bonded not by force, but by choice. Asterisk as they turned to leave. The gate pulsed gently and whispered, not in words, but in feeling. Connection is not weakness. It is the beginning of everything.